to order. May the town clerk please call the roll.
Councilman Beal.
Here.
Councilwoman Bettina.
Here.
Councilman Phillips.
Here.
Councilman Casella.
Here.
Supervisor Cavazzini.
Here. In just a moment, I'll invite you to stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, followed by an invocation led by Pastor Harris of Grace Bible Church on Myers Corners Road, and followed by a moment of silence in memory of Chelsea resident Helene Gordonier, who just passed away. So please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you for the invitation to be able to do this. It took a while for my schedule to match yours. Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, our creator and sustainer, thank you for this day, another day of life, another day to serve you. Thank you as well for these whom you've established in positions of governing authority to be your ministers for good for those whom they serve. Thank you for placing it in their hearts to give of their time and talents to be a blessing from you to this, our town. I ask you to give them wisdom this evening to discern between what is good and evil before you, so that they may choose the good. I also ask that you will grant them wisdom as your stewards to be efficient, effective in their discussions and decisions, that you will create a harmony between them, that enable them to overcome even any disagreements there may be on specific issues in order to achieve the goals that will benefit our town. Father, we ask these things that we might live tranquil and quiet lives in all godliness and dignity. And finally, Father, grant them your blessings for their service. I ask these things for your glory in the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Pastor Harris. We greatly appreciate your words and your time here this evening. With that, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I want to make a motion to amend the agenda. I'd like to take two of the resolutions, 191 and 192, move them from consent to non-consent for further discussion.
Okay.
I would like to move 197 to non-consent as well.
Okay.
And I also, you wanted to add
Yes. So I was going to
the
add,
JCAP.
yes, the Justice Court provided us with a resolution that would allow them to move forward with applying for their JCAP grant, upwards of $30,000 to make necessary improvements, expenses, so on and so forth in the Justice Court. And that resolution's been laid on the desk here today, as well as been provided to the town clerk. With that, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
So now, remember, your packets will not be in order when you receive them.
Correct.
Yes.
Sometimes people get surprised.
Thank you, Mr.
Are they
Clerk.
ever in order?
It's always in order.
All right, all right.
I'm kidding, I'm joking.
Okay, don't go there.
With that, do I have a motion to acknowledge the minutes as presented for the September 23rd, 2024 meeting and the October 7th, 2024 special meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilman Beal. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. Folks, tonight we have three separate public hearings here tonight on three different local laws. The town board will, in a moment, open up each one of these local laws individually to discuss each local law individually. With that, do I have a motion to open the public hearing for introducing a local law regulating hazardous pollution sources in proximity to public water supply sources, aquifers, and wetlands?
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you very much, folks. The public hearing on the local law regarding the aquifer is now open. You have 3 minutes. We ask that you state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Actually, I think what we want is, we just got some new information from the county, so I'd like our attorney to address that, please, on this particular issue.
So on the referral, the county raises a number of issues with the law, one of which is a possible preemption issue. So I need to take the time and make sure that we either mitigate that concern or address the concern in this version of the local law. So my recommendation is for you guys to not close the public hearing, but to adjourn it. That would give us the opportunity to make any amendments that we may need to make to address that concern. And that would allow us to republish a version of this that does do that, and without having you need to republish a new public hearing.
Yeah.
So that would be my recommendation, if you guys would just make a motion to adjourn it, and then we'll pick it right back up at the next meeting.
Just a question, I didn't hear what you said with respect to the conflict. What was the issue that they pointed out?
So in the, basically the county planning department says that the regulation of wells is solely within the jurisdiction of the health department. And they feel that it would be duplicative for the town board to also adopt a law that takes on potentially not that responsibility, but also, restrictions in addition to it. And it raises an issue as to whether or not the county, preempts the whole field of this thing. So what I want to do is take the time to make sure that we sufficiently address that concern. And it could be in a number of forms. They point out that there isn't a particular relief valve, and that may be one of the ways to resolve it. So I need to look at that and make sure that we don't have an issue like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Liguori, and I was going to address that tonight. We had a very productive water quality task force meeting this afternoon, in which a number of residents, including Marcy Wagman, Alex Reese, and also Tara Grogan from Dutchess County Planning, were in attendance today. And we went over both the proposed law that's on the dais here tonight, as well as the proposed aquifer protection district that's been talked about for quite some time behind the scenes, going back 2 administrations now. The idea behind this law was, again, to be, piggybacking off of what the county has done, supporting our colleagues up there in having strong aquifer protection measures here in the town of Wappinger, but also piggybacking on some future legislation that's been discussed at length internally and every now and then up on the dais here. But this was taking the first step. I understand and appreciate Dutchess County's comments. I did speak again to Tara Grogan today, and she said it is within the town's purview to move forward with the local law if we see fit. It was my opinion to continue to keep the public hearing open and have the conversation here amongst the town board members here to obviously keep this local law alive and to make sure that it is as productive a law as possible.
So if we just adjourn it, Mr. Liguori can find out what verbiage has to be made?
Yeah,
and we
I
can
think,
have the discussion.
what I want to just make sure is that when the county makes a preemption argument, the question is how much of the field of this is preempted? Is it the entirety of it, or is it just very particular issues? And I think that's the really fine part that we need to take a look at. I think it's the fine part, so we'll take a look at that before we move forward.
Thank you very much.
We need a super majority on this, correct? So
Yes.
4 board members to approve?
Right.
Instead of the normal 3 majority?
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
And, if you could always refer back a copy of the amended version to, if you wanted to.
Yeah, and we have open dialogue with Tara Grogan and Dutchess County Planning as well. But they understand the full scope of what we're looking to do here. They're not necessarily opposed to it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not a bad thing to have in our town. So, based on what we've been working with in tandem with them, they support this local law here as well. And again, it's just fine-tuning some of these last-minute things.
I don't think it's going to take much to get it where it needs to.
And I was going to say, and the referral letter did come today. So, it landed right here in Town Hall today. So, that's why this is coming up now.
Just keep in mind that I believe we were the first town in the county to require well testing on property sales.
Correct.
And I believe there was a similar argument with respect to regulatory authority over wells at that time, going back to 2007. So I understand their point when they're pointing out a potential duplicative effort with respect to regulatory authority, right? So I prefer that we be specific within our local law that we're not, unintentionally usurping what their responsibility is.
Yeah, and you have that language in your law. That
Yeah.
law is there. That language is there, but certainly is worth, why not take another look? I mean, we're not,
I was going to say, this was all thought out, and definitely, Councilman, those concerns were already in the initial draft. It's just, again, just fine-tuning some of those smaller details there. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing if there's no further comment?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, thank you very much. I'll be adjourned to our next meeting. Next public hearing is a resolution introducing local law number 5 of 2024, which would amend Chapter 240 zoning of the town code with respect to tattoo parlors. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, thank you very much. The motion passes. Folks, again, same rules apply. If you would like to comment on local law regarding tattoo parlors, you are able to come up now and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none.
I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, thank you very much. We have certainly addressed tattoo parlors for quite some time on this dais, so thank you, folks. The third and final public hearing regarding local laws tonight is resolution introducing local law number 6 of 2024, which would amend Chapter 217 subdivision and 240 zoning of the town code with respect to tree felling exceptions. So I have a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much, folks. If you'd like to speak on the tree felling code, you may do so now. Seeing no public comment, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you very much. 2 of the 3 public hearings are closed. Folks, at this point in time, I'd like to ask the town board to consider opening the public portion, which allows you to speak on agenda items only. Do I have a motion to open the public portion?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Beal, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. The public portion of the meeting is now open. You have 3 minutes to speak. We ask that you provide your name and address for the record. Seeing no public comment, do I have a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilman Beal. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. The public portion is now closed. Moving along to our consent resolutions. Resolution 2024-189, correspondence log. Resolution 2024-190. Resolution regarding connection to the United Wappinger Water District for Diamond Properties, also known as Alpine Commons. Resolution 2024-193, resolution setting public hearing on proposed budgets, O&M charges, rates, and rents for special district improvements and special improvement areas for fiscal year 2025. Resolution 2024-194, resolution authorizing relevy of unpaid 2024 water and sewer charges. Resolution 2024-195, resolution appointing chairman of the Town of Wappinger Zoning Board of Appeals. Resolution 2024-196, resolution accepting resignation of chairman of the Town of Wappinger Zoning Board of Appeals. And at that time, that is all of the consent resolutions. Do I have a motion to adopt?
I'll make that motion to adopt.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you very much. Moving along to our non-consent resolutions. Resolution 2024-191, resolution appointing part-time intern. Do I have a motion for discussion?
I'll make the motion for discussion.
Moved by Councilman Casella,
I'll second it.
second by Councilman Phillips. In speaking to the town board, the comptroller and I had requested that we receive additional intern assistance in the comptroller's office to assist in a number of the vouchers and the day-to-day paperwork that is piling up on both our junior accountant's desk as well as the comptroller's desk. It's a lot of mundane work, so in receiving the preliminary approval from the town board to move forward with obtaining an intern, we contacted Marist College, who we have a very good relationship with, and found an individual that is currently seeking a finance major and is also familiar with the town of Wappinger and would be able to provide their own transportation here. So that is what we're proposing here tonight.
So my question is, right, we didn't see a resume. Typically, we see a resume from somebody. We have not seen that, so, I don't know anything about the individual to go ahead and just automatically appoint somebody. So at least if we had a resume, we don't need to necessarily interview because we've done that before. We see the resumes. That was my concern. And my second concern was, did anybody else apply for this, or was it just one person?
This is all we
Okay.
This is all we receive for a finance internship at this time.
Okay, so
And, so we did include in the resolution that they are a Marist College finance major. Again, just starting out in college, so I don't know if this individual had a resume or not, but this is what we had. So this is what we provided.
I'd like to at least see who we're going to hire. I mean, get a little bit of background information on them. Because we've had in the past where we've hired people in the past, their resumes say one thing, and not that this individual would, but turns out it was a little different from what the resume said. So again, not taking away from this individual, I'm not saying that's true, but to see an actual resume would be nice.
No, I understand, Councilman, and I would also add, too, that, the Sports Museum of Dutchess County, which I'd like to acknowledge and thank Bill and Barb Ponte and Mary for being here, currently also have Marist College interns as well, actually, quite the group of them. And just Chairman or President Ponte, when you get your Marist College interns, you are basically handed them. If you don't review any resume or anything like that, they select who they provide. So, this seems to be what we've done in the past. Again, this is an internship that would sunset December 31st, that would assist in day-to-day town hall activities. Again, the Sports Museum has been quite pleased with the Marist College interns. And again, this is giving someone that's just starting out as a student, the opportunity to learn the ropes. So again, for the public and for my colleagues on the dais, this is not a 9-to-5 employee. This is not a union employee or civil service. This is an intern assisting to help in day-to-day activities from Marist College.
I don't object to the proposal. However, I will yield to my colleagues if they want to review the credentials of the individual prior to voting. I have no objection to that. There is minimal fiscal impact on a $17 employee working 17 and a half hours, though, between now and December 31st on the budget. So I'm not concerned about that. It will improve efficiency, obviously, in the finance department, but I certainly don't have an objection to waiting till the next meeting to ratify this. It's up to the board.
And we could certainly ask for a resume and provide it to the town board.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Just so we all are informed. Let's get a resume from her.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody in college, I'm sure if they don't have one,
I'm sure they're working on it.
well, I'm sure there's places where they can get one made right there at the college.
And as you said, we did talk about getting a part-time person there, so I don't have a problem with bringing a part-time person in, but again, a little information about them, background, et cetera.
Absolutely. And we did interview this individual, the comptroller, myself, and the personnel administrator, and we found her to be extremely capable and extremely energetic to start and have an opportunity to work in our government as well and gain this firsthand experience to add to a resume. So with that, with that condition that we will ask for a resume, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 2024-191?
No, I thought we were going to move this to the next meeting,
Oh.
after we review the
I
resume.
thought it was, I would provide you with a resume. Okay.
How's the rest of the board feel?
I don't know. This, folks, this is, again, trying to build student participation, youth participation.
I have no objection, but again, my forte in this town hall is not the finance side of it, to be honest with you. So
Neither is mine.
that's why I'm
but I-
yielding to the other members. So if you feel more comfortable, Al and Chris, if you feel more comfortable reviewing the resume and Angela prior to the approval, I have no objection to that.
And I did misspeak before. Again, we do have a motion second, so it would be a vote. And I don't mind asking the town clerk to call a roll call vote.
Just move the table.
I will yield to my fellow, I'm ambiguous, so if they're looking for a resume, then I will yield to them.
When can you get the resume?
I can ask tomorrow.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, but now we're
I
waiting.
know, now we're
again.
delaying it for another 2 weeks, I get
Yes.
it.
All right, so how about we do this? We table it till the end of the meeting. We get we have a resume on file or anything, or no?
No, we do
Oh,
not.
we don't?
No,
Okay.
no.
I thought we had
No.
one
No,
in-house.
it's not that, again, this is not the fact that we're keeping something from the town board. It's just, this is a student.
So,
That's
so put in
just
there.
starting out in
So
college.
put in there, a condition of employment is getting the resume. I'll make the motion that we approve, but I want the resume no later than the end of this week. Fair enough?
Understood.
Yeah,
All right, I'll
Understood.
second it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem.
All right, moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Patina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, thank you very much. I appreciate the due diligence, folks. Resolution 2024-192. Resolution adopting capital budgets, O&M charges, and water and sewer rates and rents for special districts and special improvement areas for the fiscal year 2025.
Well,
Do I have a motion for discussion?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Casella.
If you read it, it says we had a public hearing on October 28th, 24.
The real issue is it says, whereas October 12th. If you look at the first sentence here, it was October 12th, 2024. We didn't have a meeting then. You're having it tonight, so it's the 15th. It's just a technicality, but just get it fixed. So that's why I
That's a
actually
fair
moved
point.
from consent to non-consent.
That's a fair point. Yep, that was a clerical error, and that can be corrected with an amendment. So,
And with that, I'll make a motion that we approve.
very good. Moved by Councilman Casella, second
Second.
by Councilman Beal on the amendment. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None, thank you very much. Okay. Moving right along. Resolution 2024-197. Resolution to designate a portion of the American Rescue Plan funds and authorize requests for proposals to construct a new live performance stage at Brexel Schlotthaus Park. Do I have a motion for discussion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilman Beal. So we've been talking about doing something at Schlotthaus Park for quite some time. It was one of the issues that we addressed during our inauguration, in the State of the Town address, and collectively on this board. Something Councilman Phillips and I have talked about and compared ideas and proposals throughout this year. And in working with our engineer to the town, Larry Paggi, he referred the architect in his office to come up with design plans and a scope of work that we can move forward with constructing a brand-new live performance band shell at Schlotthaus Park, which is a bigger footprint. We provided those blueprints for the public and for the town board to review. They're preliminary based on what Mr. Paggi's architect has drafted. And again, this is up for the town board to determine whether or not we'd like to move forward. I did meet with the architect again today, and based on the town board's decision, we can move forward as soon as tomorrow with preparing the RFP.
As you know, I'm very much in favor of the project. I just haven't seen any other options. I mean, there's a lot of companies that provide this service, and I don't see any pricing or anything like that. It's a lot of money,
Yeah.
$850,000.
Well, again, we had in previous conversations spoken about having the town engineer draft and create something. I had circulated an overall idea that we were trying to go for, and the town board was in favor of that. and that's what we were shooting for. So this is, again, based on the town engineer. From there, you would go out, get 3 bids. They could be lower, they could be higher, but this is just starting the project. This is just the plan right here, and again, that could be parceled out. So if Highway wanted to move forward and, let's say, pour the slab or do some of the carpentry work, that would also decrease the cost. This is just providing the public and the town board with the full possible scope of work.
So of the $850, $100,000 for the architect fee, did we pay any of that yet?
No, not yet.
Did we authorize the work already?
You asked me to move forward and ask the town engineer to come up with this.
But we haven't spent any of it. This is
Not
just our
yet.
estimate.
Not yet. This is, again, based on our conversations.
So
You
the
asked me to talk to
so
the
the
town
8 different
engineer.
phases here, the 8 different phases here, total would be roughly $100,000, correct?
Correct.
So we're saying the balance of the project can be up to $750. And I thought we had talked about looking at potentially at kits, things like that, where our highway guys could help out, like you said before.
We did
or
not
could
have a
lessen the cost.
conversation, excuse me, Councilman, we did not have the conversation as to having a kit that was discussed with the recreation director. There were options. Everyone on the town board asked me to speak to the town engineer, and this is what we did. We spoke to the town engineer. It's a proposal. And again, what's being proposed here tonight is going out to RFP. We do not need to move forward with any of them if we feel that it's too expensive. And it's capping an amount at $850,000 of ARPA funds, not Town of Wappinger taxpayer funds, gifted to us by the federal government, to move forward with this project that we've all agreed to. We've all seen the scope, the image. It's just moving forward, and at any point in time, we can say, no, this is not what we want to do. When the bids come in, we can say, oh, that's too high, we don't want to do that, or we'd like to ask Highway to do it.
I don't think anybody said we weren't going to do the project. I think we're looking at it as the expense of the project.
Of course,
'Cause
and
originally-
again, the town board asked me to keep it within a certain scope, and that's what we've done.
Because originally, when we did the ARPA funds, we had $750,000 allocated towards it.
Yep. And again, that was toward the construction. Obviously, there's soft costs that come from the engineers. Larry Podgy, our engineer to the town, this is his architect. This is the course of work that, and the scope of work that he has recommended, and we've been pointed in that direction. So,
Well, I'm certainly not against the concept of replacing the stage. Obviously, it needs to be replaced. With respect to the ARPA funding, when do we have to spend our ARPA money by? Do we know?
it has to be fully allocated by the end of this year, and then there is a certain time frame following that we have to spend it by. But as long as it's fully committed by the end of this year, we're covered.
And how much do we have? Do we know?
At this point in time, I don't have that off the top.
So we had $2.2 million. We spent
Correct.
roughly $250 over at Robinson Lane and about $160 for software, so call it $400,000, roughly a little less than $1.8 million left.
Okay, so this is a permissible expense,
Correct.
my understanding, for recreation and cultural
Improvement.
use. The idea is what we couldn't do during COVID,
Yep.
we can expand upon. And it can be for infrastructure, it can be certain capital expenses. I think that, you know, for what we went through for 3+ years of not being able to have events where we were able to congregate, I think this is a good, you know, investment. I think that there should be some more discussion with respect to how we're going to execute the concept. I do like these conceptual photos, and I know that there's been discussion about placing it in a different direction, right? So that the sun's not shining straight into it.
Yes. And actually, the sound would go into the park rather than being able to hear it on Wildwood Drive on the other side of town. So,
Yeah, and listen, nothing against the decisions that were made 30 or 40 years ago, I
No.
get it, but you live and learn. My only concern and my understanding is you want to put it on the side that is, basically facing Myers Corners Road, right?
We want to put it along the fence line,
On the fence
along the
line.
boundary line with Meadowbrook.
And
Correct.
facing out, so.
Face toward the monument.
My concern will be this, the natural swell that goes through there. I know we've mitigated some of it with some drainage, but I'd want to learn more about that. I'm sure the engineers have looked at that. Is it necessary to appropriate or allocate a dollar amount now, or can we take some conceptual drawings and do an RFP without, just to see what comes back?
Well, obviously, we've gotten to this point now with using Mr. Podgy's recommended architect. We do have to make a decision because they did spend some time, obviously, on the plans and the scope of work, and we are basically right now at that cusp of moving forward with an RFP or not. Again, that's what I was recommending to the board tonight, since we've had a 10-month-long conversation on replacing the stage. We're in full agreement that we're replacing the stage. There were council members speaking at Community Day saying that we're replacing the stage and moving forward with it. So I was just, kind of taken off
I'd like to see some storage in the back of here. I mean,
There is.
I don't see it in any of these plans.
There is, and I can,
Maybe we should come
Yeah,
in
so
and
that's
talk
one of
to
the
us,
things
you
a
know?
couple of the
Why can't
residents
we
said when they were there.
have architects come in and talk to us?
sure.
Like, I like to.
All of this costs money.
No, I understand that, but if we're going to do it, we want to do it right, and maybe we could have we have questions based on what they present to us besides the pictures. Pictures are nice, they're good, but I think it'd be wise if they come in and present to the board.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular, because there is storage that's being factored
Excuse
into
me.
it? Maybe it's not there, but there are 2 rear storage rooms that are being proposed in the rear.
That would be good.
So.
Anything else that I can let them know?
So one of the other things that some of the residents talked about when we were talking about the stage of during Community Day was, can you put in the front of the stage, actually put doors there and be able to store stuff inside where the stage is, so you don't have an area in the back? So,
This is being proposed as a concrete slab that would give it more durability. This is the way of a lot of the band shells that they're going. If we wanted to change that, then it would be a wood frame structure that we have today, and we would then be able to put in storage that way, but the storage is going to be in the rear. Just by way of information on that.
I mean, personally, I'd want to see more than one design. I'd want to see like 3 different designs, 3 different approaches. I do like the band shell at Bowden Park, how that's set up, where you have a green room basically in the back for artists to prepare. If we could see some variations and walk the site and have discussion about, where it's actually going to sit. Is there a setback that we need to consider? I think there's a lot of questions that we should talk about as a group before authorizing a large sum of money.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion.
Absolutely.
And I fully support doing something. I think that,
I think the whole board does.
I think the band shell, the stage has served us well, but I certainly don't think that the structural integrity is optimal.
No.
At the moment?
The electrical doesn't support, having, substantial amounts of music acts going on that day, and
Yeah, when the,
obviously, it's seen better days, so.
When the bass hits and the lights dim, that's generally not a good
Yes.
indication.
No,
So.
no.
Right?
It sets the mood, no.
All right, so I can go back to the architect then and ask for 2 additional,
Well, why don't we have them come in
Why
and
don't
talk to
you
the
just
board?
have them come in at the next meeting?
well, I just want to give them an advance notice of what they're coming in to present. Are they presenting this one stage, and then the town board says, no, we want more? I was just trying to move this along in a sense that the town board would like to see additional.
Right, thoughts. What other plans have
What
they
are-
come up with?
what are our
I'm sure
other
this isn't the
options?
only one. I'm sure they've worked at it, and bring it forward, bring it to us so we can discuss it and see it.
Okay.
I think it's important that the residents and we see this.
Any other things any other comments that the town board would like to have? Okay.
In a perfect world, this is what I would like to see. A workshop meeting where the architect comes and we have public here too, and we're here, and we can say, hey, what about this approach? What about that approach? They're the artists, right? The architect, right? I like this, I do like this design,
Yeah,
but
it has a custom truss across the front.
I like it, but I'm just saying, this is my the first one.
The first.
Imagine what the second
Yeah.
one could look like,
Right.
right? And I understand things cost money, but I think it might be worth having a roundtable discussion with the architect and being able to put some ideas out there. I mean, it's a good starting point. And, you know, there's folks here that probably have some valid input that may have some ideas that, hey, what about this? Have you considered that?
I'm sure they're a lot more creative than I am and have good thoughts.
Yeah, so I don't want to delay a project, but
No.
certainly I want to make sure that we don't miss any opportunities to improve what we're looking at right here. And I like what we're looking at, and hopefully the folks can see this somewhere.
It's on the website.
Yeah, I mean, I like it, but this is just one. Let's see what else we can look at. Just my thought.
Yep. Okay. So do I have a motion to table?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Beal, second by Councilwoman Patina. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. Resolution 2024-173, resolution authorizing the lease of Carnwath Manor and a portion of the Carnwath Chapel. Do I have a motion for discussion?
I'll move it.
Moved by
Second.
Councilman Beal, second by Councilman Phillips. Board have any comments or further discussion on this?
Yeah, my understanding was that we're going to have a presentation.
And I'm disappointed to say, very disappointed to say, that, again, since we've had this since February, I received a call that one of the partners has backed out,
Okay.
and they will not be
Sad.
pursuing this project any further, given the amount of time that this has taken. Yes, it was the full intention for us to have a presentation to discuss it. It was the full intention of the board to then discuss again a letter of intent, but the time has ran out on our angel investors that we have been talking about. This could happen time and time again since February, that angel investors only hang around for so long.
Right, but let's be fair. There are a number of questions still out there that we have as a board, and we have a fiduciary responsibility to understand fully what the obligation of the town is and what the obligation of the leasee would be in this agreement. And the idea was to have them come give a presentation so that we could, in real time, have that open dialogue.
Yep.
I don't know why that was so difficult, honestly.
So I withdraw this resolution as the originating sponsor. Okay. Moving right along. Resolution 2024-186. A resolution adopting local law number 4 of the year 2024 entitled Regulating Hazardous Pollution Sources in Proximity to Public Water Supply Sources, Aquifers, and Wetlands. Do I have a motion?
Don't we have to wait for after the,
Yes, it's a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilwoman Bettina.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you very much. The resolution is tabled. Resolution 2024-187. Resolution adopting local law number 5 of the year 2024 entitled A Local Law for the Purposes of Amending Chapter 240 Zoning of the Town Code with respect to tattoo parlors. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a
Moved by
motion.
Councilman Phillips, second by Councilman Casella. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. Congratulations, sir.
I feel like after all the discussion on tattoo parlors, we should all go out and get a
A
tattoo or
tattoo,
something.
yeah.
This has been a long time coming, and again, we appreciate your patience, and we're happy to move forward with this and support small businesses here in the town of Wappinger. That's what this is about.
Yeah, it was an antiquated piece of code that we straightened out, so good luck to you, best of luck.
Yeah, you're the
I'll be
next
thinking-
generation.
I'll be thinking about what the best tattoo I should get is. Please, hold
No,
your
I'm not going to
hold
say
your comments.
anything.
You'll be getting emails later.
Okay, moving right along. Resolution 2024-188. Resolution adopting local law number 6 of the year 2024 entitled A Local Law for the purposes of amending Chapter 217, 28 subdivision of the Town Code with respect to tree felling exceptions. Do I have a motion?
Move.
I'll
Second.
Moved by Councilman Phillips, second by Councilwoman Bettina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you very much. A positive step in the right direction for protecting our open spaces and our quality of life. The next resolution was laid on the dais today. Resolution authorizing the Town of Wappinger Justice Court to submit a JCAP grant for assistance in the Justice Court. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Casella, second by Councilman Phillips. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you very much. With that, there are no further resolutions to discuss this evening. Are there any items for special consideration and/or new business?
Sure. I think we need to have Central Hudson come in here and have a conversation about what exactly is going on. It's no secret that we objected to the previous rate increase proposal to the Public Service Commission. On the heels of that rate increase proposal, they have now submitted another rate increase proposal. And if you're paying close attention to your bills, you will see that you can conserve energy all you want. That's not necessarily going to save you any money, because the delivery charge far surpasses the electric use and the natural gas use on your bill, to the point where it's making me very nervous, because previously I was on a budget bill of $270 a month. It's now $450 a month, and in 2025 it's going to be over $500 a month. And I'm hearing from residents that have similar increases, and then if you ask anyone, especially folks that are on fixed income, they are very concerned about where this is going. And I think we owe it to the residents to have Central Hudson either come in to do a presentation or come in for a workshop meeting or something, because I don't see how this is sustainable at all. I've spoken to our statewide elected officials, which I know you have, Joey, as well, and this seems to be secondary to 2019 legislation that occurred here in New York State that requires the the utilities to meet certain earmarks, which are wholly unrealistic. And what's happening is, my understanding is they are building out infrastructure that is required from that legislation, and basically passing that cost along to the residents, which to me is totally unrealistic. And I'm nervous about where we're going to be in a year. I'm nervous about where we're going to be in 2 years, based on the rate of increase that we're seeing. My understanding also is that gas and electric is affected by inflation, and as we go into the cold months here, supply and demand comes into play with respect to gas use especially, and the fluctuations that can occur month to month or week to week are just like a roller coaster. So I feel like as a town that has taken a position previously on rate increase proposals, not that it's made a difference, but we owe it to the residents to provide for a forum where they can have their questions answered, and perhaps we can get some answers on where we're going here, because it is totally unsustainable, and I don't even understand how it's ethical at this point for these rates to be going up as quickly as they are.
I agree. I'm in the same situation as you. I'm on a budget. It went up $400+, and there's no rhyme or reason. And there wasn't an increase in usage. So I think Central Hudson owes it to us to come in here and explain what they are doing and how they can justify this. Because like you said, we have people, we have young couples, we have middle-aged couples, we have seniors. You cannot balance this. Your lives, everything's going up. This isn't fair. They owe us an explanation. So I agree with you, Councilman Lopia. And I'm sure my colleagues do also.
Absolutely. With the cost of living only going up 2.5% for Social Security, it's eating
It's
into it and
outrageous.
even more. So there's no way for people to be able to afford the kind of bills you're talking about. I'm also on a budget.
Yeah.
And for two people in the house, it's extremely expensive to do. It's only going up. It's 20, 25, 30%. So I don't know how people on a fixed income can afford it. So I agree. Let's get Central Hudson in here, let them talk to the residents and say, what are we going to do about it if there's anything they can do about it? So I'd like to see them as soon as we can.
Like Councilman Beal said, back in 2018, 2019, when these mandates came down, all the power companies said, this is going to be a terrible burden. So we got a state that sits there and tells us they're for the working people and the people who, low-income people, this is not protection.
No.
This is coming from the state. If they're okaying it, it's ridiculous. They applied for this increase the day after they made their last increase. That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and listen, I understand that the 2019 legislation, the foundation of it was to be green. I get that. I have a Tesla, okay? But you can't bankrupt businesses and you can't bankrupt families by passing these expenses through bills. And that's what's going on here. It is really a challenge to even digest how people are going to continue staying here. And it's New York State at the end of the day. And it's not just Central Hudson, to be fair. Con Ed, NYSEG, O&R facing the same types of bill increases. But really, we have to take a stand, in my opinion, as a town, that this is, there's got to be light at the end of the tunnel someplace. And of course, this comes on the heels of the billing discrepancy issue that went on for a period of time, and some folks are still affected by that. And I think we owe it to the residents to have them come in. So if there's no objection, I can work with the supervisor to figure out the best way to do that, whether it be a specific time that's different than a town board meeting, or whatever forum works best where folks can express their feelings about this.
Councilman Beal, I would argue that having a forum for the public to come. I've worked with Assemblyman Beepan very closely on doing these forums with Central Hudson that allows residents to come and actually meet face-to-face with Central Hudson representatives, have questions answered by a real person, have real-time bill issues taken care of. I feel like that would be more of a productive use of everyone's time by facilitating a forum here at Town Hall with Central Hudson for everyone to be able to ask questions, get answers, than it would be to,
Sure, yeah, whatever.
town board deliberation.
I agree. I think it should be a separate meeting just to address those concerns.
Yeah.
And they have to come with answers. I recall the
Yes.
last meeting, I was more confused when we left.
Yes.
They just said, our billing's screwed up.
Yeah,
Well, again, having just, a lecture of town board of the
Right.
town of Wappinger is not the regulatory agency of
We get
Central
it,
Hudson. And that's why I think offering a real town hall forum for our constituents not only gets their their questions answered, but it also assists them in some of their real day-to-day, issues that they're facing.
That would be helpful.
Every single member of this dais and every single member of this government is feeling the same thing. Every single member of this town is feeling the same thing. And so, just to really work for our residents and for our neighbors, I think facilitating some sort of actual town hall forum where people can have that question and answer period would be the best
And it would be
opportunity.
also good to have an opportunity for the residents that can't make it to send in their questions. I don't have a problem reading it to them
Yeah.
and having them address it.
Okay, thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. So we'll work together to make that happen, and we'll do it at a time that folks are available.
Yep.
Another concern that I have, and I see Barbara Birdie here, this reminded me, I need some clarification on, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm going to do it anyway. Short-term rentals, we've talked about it over the years. Where does the town stand with respect to short-term rentals? We know that they exist within our boundaries. Whether they're permissible or not is another story, but what is our position at this point on short-term rentals, AKA Airbnbs?
So at this time, they're not permitted. the way our zoning code is written, and it's stated right at the top of schedule of residential uses, that if it's not expressly called out as a use, it's considered prohibited. I've spoken to the supervisor, and I'm working right now, and then he'll get it a draft of creating a law to allow Airbnbs, but structured so that they have to register it, that there's enforcement, there's yearly inspections. I know you're probably talking about the fire. I'm very concerned that some people are having them in places without smokes and COs. They may not have a second form of egress. So we need to look at all that. We need to protect the homeowners that live here, and we need to protect the visitors that come here. So I will be sending that out very shortly to all of you to look at over.
Thank you.
The reason why this is front of mind is within the last 48 hours, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm walking through, and not even knowing that it's an Airbnb, where 2 individuals lost their lives, and not one smoke detector. There was not one working smoke detector. There was a CO detector in the basement, not working. But I looked, spent 2 hours on that scene as part of the investigation, and the fact that there was quite possibly no indication to individuals sleeping in that household that there was an active fire and people died. I don't want that to happen in our town. Obviously, nobody does. And if there's anything we need to do to prevent that. We know that Airbnbs exist. I'm not necessarily against Airbnbs, and I know it's been great. We've talked about this for years, even taking the Association of Towns seminars on Airbnbs and how to properly regulate them. And, you know, there's somewhat of a rabbit hole there, right? So if we can work proactively to ensure that folks aren't inadvertently, you know, renting a space that is unsafe, that would certainly be appreciated.
Well, we are working on it, and unfortunately, what happened over the weekend just really emphasizes that we really need to have a little control, because like you said, we check every time somebody gets a CO that they have smokes and COs, and it's alarming and surprising how many people do not have working COs and smokes in their house. So to the thought that they have visitors, we need to make sure they're safe.
Certainly.
Thank you.
The last thing, and thank you, Barbara, the last thing I want to bring up is here in the town of Wappinger on December 7th, we're going to be collectively hosting a fire department leadership and tactics seminar at Wappingers Junior High School. This is an event that is open to fire department members in Dutchess County free of charge. And the idea is to provide leadership training, which we find in the fire service is sometimes lacking, right? Building our leaders of tomorrow, which in this town I believe is part of our recipe of success with continuing to build our volunteer base, right? And also providing for what we call scene size up strategy and tactics, right? What we're doing in the first few minutes of an active scene. So this is going to be an event that's held at Wappingers Junior High, and collectively in partnership with our Fire Chiefs Council, our Dutchess County Volunteer Firemen's Association, our Association of Fire Districts, and I would like the town also to partner on this because I think it's important that the town be part of this leadership training. So my thought was, looking at the budget for this year, if there's no objection from the town board, or if we have approval from the town board, $2,000 to help offset the cost of the instructors that we have coming in. We have instructors coming in from, one of them is a chief officer from Texas who is a national speaker, and another one is a retired battalion chief out of FDNY who is very well known across the country for his speaking and his training. So my thought is if the town can also become a partner on this and help present this, I think we're going to really show leadership within the county. And I'd like to make a motion that the town authorize $2,000 out of the disaster preparedness allocation that's in our budget for the purposes of fire service training for the entire town and village.
Second. And to piggyback off of that comment as well, Councilman, you know, we have seen firsthand throughout this year the intense situations that continue to increase in our community, where our volunteer fire service comes out And I will put them against anyone else in the county. They truly are an incredible, incredible team between New Hackensack, Houstonville, and Chelsea. And if we, as this town government, can facilitate a course to give them additional training and career skills to stay here in our town and better protect our residents, I wholeheartedly support that.
And I will say, I'm trying to be careful here without naming specific geographic locations or fire departments that were involved in this incident that occurred. Volunteer firefighters the other night in our county, without question, risked their lives and almost lost their lives to remove 2 children and a mother from a burning building, to the point where the banister on the stairwell had to be broken apart to get them out of the building. And these are volunteers that are getting up in the middle of the night. They still have to go to work in the morning, and they're putting their lives on the line. And just another testament to the value of skilled volunteer firefighters and our career firefighters as well. But in this case, it was volunteer firefighters, just as we have in this town. So additional training, obviously, is only going to better prepare for a serious situation.
Well, I think it's a true testament to the people that live here, both men and women, that volunteer in this regard. What happened last night in Clinton and Pleasant Valley was awful. It should have never happened. A mother and the 1-year-old child die, and there's no fire, smoke detectors in the building? How could that possibly happen in our town? It's not our town, but it's our neighbor. And it can easily happen anywhere. How many times do you go and you check your fire, your smoke detectors, your carbon
Monoxide.
monoxide check? How many? I'm so upset over that. I saw that. And 38 years old she was. Not that the age makes any difference, but it was extremely sad, awful. And you're right, the volunteers that were there, I don't know if anybody saw the pictures, it was heartbreaking. All right, here's a husband now with a 3-year-old and no wife, no mother, and lost a child. So you see these volunteer people, our firemen, our women, thank them. They're up there with the military. Thank them. Because without them, we'd be in so much more danger.
All right, we do have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? None. Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Any other new business items for special consideration?
Yes, I'd just like to make a couple comments if I could. First of all, hopefully most of everybody had an opportunity to go out to our Community Day Parade. That was an outstanding event, I believe. Again, good weather on Saturday, especially for the parade, not so much for the fireworks, but a good event, and we're hoping for our 150th, we're going to be able to do something very special. I also want to thank our Buildings and Grounds team. They did an outstanding job over at Robinson Lane so that Bill doesn't get splinters anymore on bleachers. They were out there doing a number of...
I'll let you know tomorrow, actually.
So they're out there, they put in a bunch of new bleachers out there. They have a bunch of metal bleachers they're going to be putting out over the next 6 months or so as the weather changes, so they'll have time to build those. So again, they'll be out there Robinson Lane. We had a grub problem out at Robinson Lane, too. I don't know if you're aware of that. You probably saw it with your kids. So the grubs were eating all the infield grass. So
What is it, grubs?
Huh? Yeah, it's grubs.
Bugs.
So what's going to happen is Waverly Pest Control went out there. They took a look. They're going to spray in the spring. We're going to probably have to do some seeding there. From a Marshfield perspective, our Buildings and Grounds team is going to start doing the LED lights, hopefully the end of this week or early next week. So that's a positive for us. And last but not least, I want to wish everybody a happy belated Columbus Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Again, we had an amazing community day this past Columbus Day weekend, an amazing carnival, which I give a huge shout out to our Recreation Department, Buildings and Grounds Department, our Town Hall staff that put that together, as well as a huge shout out to the fire police of the New Hackensack Fire Company who volunteered their time as well. Truly, it was a great 4-day weekend of community. We wanted to really emphasize the Wappinger community feel on that Saturday around the parade, which was the most most participants in the parade we've had in quite some time as well. And it really was a great, great day and weekend of community. We had a exceptional Grand Marshal in John Uris, a 100-year-old World War II veteran who this town recognized earlier this year. We truly, I think, made his year by having him and his family in the parade, and he truly appreciated that opportunity. I would like to remind our families, as well as a number of the up-and-coming Halloween events that we are hosting throughout the town this month. This Saturday, the 19th, the Village of Wappingers Falls will be hosting their trunk or treat and Halloween parade through the downtown streets of the village. On the 26th of this month, the town of Wappinger, we will be hosting ours at Brexel Schlotthouse Park. On Halloween itself, the 31st, the Chelsea Hamlet will be hosting their annual Halloween parade, which the highway superintendent and I always participate in. And then on November 1st, we're going to be bringing back something that we did a few years ago, an opportunity for our children, our families to come and trick-or-treat through Town Hall at all the offices on November 1st. And piggybacking along with town programs and events here in the building, we will be partnering with our Dutchess County Comptroller, Greg Pulver, to host a fraud event in the Senior Center on October 30th. Again, that's in the Senior Center and open to any residents wishing to come as well. I would like to just end on a note that, again, we have made great progress this year, both on this dais and the team in Town Hall, in really moving things forward that have been talked about for years. And I do want to remind everyone in this room that we can continue to make good progress and we can continue to get things done. There is so many possibilities and so much potential for this town, from our town parks to our supporting our small businesses and everything in between. And I would like to ask everyone to just continue to keep that in mind as we all do our due diligence. But again, we have accomplished a lot, and I hope that we can continue to move forward in accomplishing things together. With that, I personally do not see a need to enter into executive session. So with that,
I do want to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
October is Hispanic Heritage Month, and I want to thank all our people that are Hispanics for taking part in our community, and I'm sure everyone here agrees, and it's also Italian Heritage Month. So eat that pasta, have fun, enjoy, be safe. And also, I have to say this, the senior art show, these pictures that are here, they're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Our seniors have so much talent. It's totally amazing. So, thank you. And thank you for everybody that partook in Carnival. It was really a lot of fun. The kids, I think, had a blast. I think the adults did, too.
Yep, oh, yeah.
I really do.
It was
So,
a very fun weekend.
Thank you, my board members.
Yeah, we should give a shout out, though, to, Jessica Fulton and her team.
Yes,
I mean, pulling that thing together,
totally.
it's like herding cats at that lineup. I mean, I don't know
Yes.
how they even do that. And somebody said, we were out of order. I said, well, just be lucky you got down the road,
That's
because
right.
who cares if you're out of order? But getting those people in line like that, my kid was in the soccer group, which was, all over the place, running all over the place. Somehow they got them to go at the same time. My other son obviously walked with us in the parade. And, it's a great event, not only for the residents to be at, but it's a great event for us to be out there and have some fun at one of our own events.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wish I could have stayed longer, but Jessica was there the whole time, right?
Yeah.
She was calling us in a rainstorm, giving us updates
Yes.
that this is what we're going to do. There were some concerns, obviously, about, the drainage, as there always is in that park. And, she was there. And it's good to have somebody there, and her team was there.
Yes.
To communicate proactively with us about what was going on. And I just want to say I appreciate all the work that goes unnoticed sometimes by
Yes.
our recreation and our buildings and grounds. I mean, Sal was directing traffic or something in that parking lot. There was more cars in that lot than I've seen in a long time by the Schlotthouse office. And
That was Tom Barr.
That was Tom.
oh, it was Tom, sorry,
Barr.
Tom and
Barr.
Loretta.
I apologize,
Yeah.
Tom Barr.
And
Yeah,
Loretta.
they both did a
And
great
Loretta
job.
was, had the flag out on All Angels, which, made me nervous, but, she was, she was doing, and had a vest
She
on.
did great. She did great.
So these
They did.
these
They really
employees
do.
were kind of filling roles they don't normally fill on a normal day and going above and beyond. So let it be known that we appreciate that. Thank you.
That's our team, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Again, I've said it many times, I'm so proud of the team that we have in this building day to day and our employees. They truly go above and beyond, and we've done a lot of cleanup and a lot of, encouragement, and, we're getting things done day to day here at Town Hall. With that, again, I have nothing to go into executive session for, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Beal, second by Councilman
And
Tina.
thank you, everybody that has tuned in and attended.
All in
tonight.
favor? Aye. Opposed?